Hi, folks. John Hecker here again, the pro at Brooklyn Country Club in Rochester, New York. Today I'm going to put a couple videos side by side of each other that I videoed during the PGA Senior Championship at Oak Hill in this May. Now on the left is Scott McCarron. Scott McCarron finished the season as the #1 player. He was the runner-up in this tournament. He had a really good chance of winning on the last hole, but his putt didn't fall and it didn't work out for him. But yeah, it was kind of how his season was. He was right up near the top almost every event. On the right is just a beautiful swinger in John Huston. If you watch him, he's just very rhythmic, powerful. He hits the ball far, but he hasn't done as well on the senior tour. And I can only chalk that up into that he probably just isn't as interested as Scott McCarron might be. Because he's certainly got a ton of talent. But these two at address, if you look at them, they're fairly comparable. I think you could say that John Huston's a little more bent over, but their swings are very different. And I wanted to take you through that. And I was watching John Huston hit nice high slight draws out there. And Scott McCarron is just a real pounder of the ball. He hits power fades, hits it very far. He's 5'10", 170, one of the longest hitters on tour and probably the best ball striker on the Champions Tour. So if I'll take you through Huston here coming back, there's a couple points I'd like to make in his swing here. The first one is as he comes back, he closes the club face a little bit. When you see a person close the club face like this a little bit, sometimes it'll cause some hooks. I didn't really see that much with John, but I'm guessing if he had some misses in his career, they might have been over that direction. Because as you watch Scott McCarron now, being a pure fader of the ball, when I hear fading, I think of path left at impact and club face right, and I start to see why here. He's got his club face in a very different position, so you're starting to see why these guys would hit different shots. The interesting part is how close McCarron has kept his left arm to his body. He's definitely swinging the club around him, where you don't see that as much with Huston. When you take him to the top of the swing, I think Huston, again, when I watch him, I thought, geez, this guy's got unbelievable rhythm. Just a beautiful swing, but you can almost make out that the club face is a little bit closed to his left wrist position. Again, maybe a reason why he would tend to hit some hooks, because you won't see that with McCarron. I think the other deal as I watch McCarron here is he puts the club in what we call a laid off position, so it's aiming to the left of his target. The other part is you can see he adds a ton of cup to his left wrist. So this is the angle between your left forearm and your wrist. That opens up the club face. So these two players, while their swings actually look pretty comparable when you're walking by on the range, they are entirely different positions. So as you watch McCarron swing down, again, he's a pure power fader of the ball. He swings the club nicely from around him, but because he's opened that blade a little bit with the cupping of his wrist, he can really go at it, and I think he really enjoys fading the ball. And a lot of people will try to do that at a high level. They'll try to eliminate one side of the course and say, hey, this is what I am. John Huston swings a little bit differently, and see when he comes into the ball, it's actually looks like the club works at a steeper angle. And boom, he hits the ball beautifully up in the air. So two guys do it different ways. What's the difference? Why did one do better than the other? Who knows, right? I mean, both these swings are obviously great swings. As I said, the two that really stood out in my eyes as I walked the range, but they do it different ways. But I think there's things you can copy. If you're a guy who's hooking the ball, you can definitely feel like McCarron. You cup your left wrist a little bit, get the club face a little bit open, and if you're wanting to learn how to hook the ball a little bit, you can copy John Huston, having the club face come back a little bit close. So give those a try. Hope to see you out in the course soon.